bitches. This is Elle with RRozelles Creations and welcome back to my channel. This week we are going to be doing an ombre burst and I'm going to show how you can finish it off with a UVDTF wrap and an element sheet. You can find everything down below in the description box that is used. So let's get it. I know it's been about 3 weeks since I've posted a tutorial, but I've been having hell downloading to YouTube. So we're going to try today. So I am using a 32-ounce Plump from Tipsy Magnolia. I have a discount code down below in the description box. And we are going in with Adhesive Apothecary's Cauldron color in the color Like My Soul. This is a 3-in-1 paint, primer, and adhesive. And I am going to put on a hefty coat so I have time to ombre these glitters. The cauldron colors are highly pigmented. They are pretty thick, but I'm here to tell you they dry super quick. So you have to really put on a hefty coat, especially if you were trying to blend out some glitter. For this ombre burst, I only did 1 coat of glitter. So if you use a good amount of the cauldron color, you will get your 1 coat wonder. Cauldron colors do not streak. You don't have to worry about patchiness, glitter falling off. Just make sure you are putting on a hefty coat. You don't want to see any stainless steel, and you want to see the cauldron color pretty thick. So I'm going to speed this little process up, and then we're going to get into glittering. So for this ombre burst, I am going in with PDB Creative Studios Nocturnal and Maya. Everyone says that Maya is a blue, but I see purple. These are both fine mixes. And I started with my lightest color first because that's going to be my burst. So what I'm doing is I am doing a band around the middle of the tumbler. About a 1/4 inch of a band, and then I'm going to tilt. It doesn't matter which way you start first, but I'm going to tilt the tumbler up. I'm going to focus on that bottom band because that is where I want my glitter hitting, so it will cascade down the tumbler. I am going to focus on each side of that band, all while trying not to do a heavy coat so I still have some adhesive showing, so I can blend it out when I go in with my other glitter color. Now we're going to focus on the other side of that band, and I'm going to tilt it the other way, lightly tapping. I don't let it rip right now. I usually use my finger to tap. We'll shake just to make sure we get it dark in some areas. But when I am tilting and laying my glitter, I don't want full coverage, but I do want full coverage in the middle of that band. So I'm going to speed this process up. I'm just making sure I have enough glitter falling for that blend. All right, bitches, same thing. We're going to grab Nocturnal. This is a black holographic, and it is freaking gorgeous. We're going to get that 1/4 inch band around the bottom. We're going to get that heavy coat, tilt, and I am going to tap my glitter focusing on the bottom of that band. This is where Nocturnal will meet Maya, and we will start the blending process. But I lay my bottom band and my top band before I go in to start to blend. For a good ombre, it's all in the tilt. It's all in your wrist. The farther you tilt, the further your glitter will go down the tumbler. The less you tilt, the more control you have. So here we go at the top. We got our band. I am tapping with my finger, controlling the glitter, focusing on that bottom band to make sure that my glitter is blending into the burst. Now I'm going to go pretty heavy and make sure that I have full coverage where I want it. And now we're going to start focusing on the burst, the ombre burst, the blend. This is where I go back and forth with both of my colors, heavy in the areas that I need it and light in the blend. So now I'm going to grab Maya, and I can still see some spots. I can still see some adhesive. That is what I want. So I am able to go back and forth with my colors and blend. I have a how to ombre video listed. If you need to go refer to that, I will try to have it tagged in the description box. I do not have the epoxy portion. I have had hell with my epoxy over the past couple of months since moving into my shop, but here it is after glittering. There is the ombre burst. I do want to explain, though, the epoxy process before getting into adding the UVDTF decal and element sheet. This is only one coat of glitter. I was shook. So once my cauldron color dried, I then sealed it with binding potion by Adhesive Apothecary. It'll be linked down below. I let that dry for 24 hours, which you can get away with 2 to 4 hours in your environment. And then I did 2 coats of epoxy letting dry in between. This cup took about 50 ml of epoxy with both coats. I also have a how I epoxy video a few videos back. I will try to tag that below in the description box as well. But now it's time to finish this baby up. I am in love with this bitch. Y'all ready? Well, let's get into it. All right. So this wrap and element sheet is exclusive to Sweary, Kim, Tumblers, and more. And I knew when I saw it, this was going to be perfect. Witchy and bitchy. So as you can see, I taped my UVDTF wrap around the tumbler in the center. I wanted this over that purple Maya, the middle of the burst. And I cut off about 1/4 of an inch of the back carrier sheet. Made sure to get that wrap securely on the tumbler. Now we are going to start releasing those elements onto the tumbler. There are so many ways you can do this. You can use a squeegee. I just feel like I have more control using my finger. So this is pretty self-explanatory. I also have a tutorial on how to wrap UVDTF wraps. I will have that listed in the description box as well. We're going to speed this up, and we are going to get to adding the different elements from the element sheet. All right, bitches. Now here's the fun part. Taking that matching element sheet, chopping it up any way that you would like, and randomly placing the elements all over the tumbler. What I did with this one is I took the purple and black spider webs, the purple and black ribbons, and then all the stars and the moons, and just randomly placed them on the bare spots of the tumbler. With element sheets and these UVDTF wraps, you can do so much. And the cool thing about it is they're permanent. So if I didn't want to do another coat of epoxy, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have to. Once these are on any hard surface, they're not going anywhere. But for me, my preference, if I am putting any type of UVDTF on an epoxied base, I want to finish it off with epoxy. I think the epoxy makes the elements pop, and for me personally, just do not like to feel the UVDTF wraps elements on an epoxy tumbler. Where I am always gonna use epoxy and do final coats over them, just for me. So once you get your elements where you want them, it's time to seal. And I get this question all the time, Elle, why do you seal UVDTF wraps if they're permanent? And my answer is, I am placing epoxy over these elements, and anytime I am using epoxy over any type of element, I am sealing just in case. If you do not press these elements all the way down, it can get air bubbles. They can peel up, so it's just an extra precaution. Now that I got the elements laid down, let's decorate this glitter booty. That is what I love about Tipsy Magnolia. You can personalize the bottoms of these tumblers. You can use rhinestones, glitter, vinyl, whatever sets your soul on fire. I have a little teeny screwdriver. We pop that booty off, and now we are going to go in with Maya and Nocturnal, the same glitter that we used on the Ombre burst, and we are going to mix it in PDB Creative Studios UV resin. I do about 20 ml of glitter in my medicine cup. We mix, and then we start adding the glitter. I'm going to speed this process up. I have several tutorials showing how to do this. So I'll see you for sealing. Once I get it done, we're going to hit it with the propane torch, pop all them bubbles, and here that baby is. For this one, I did not hit it with my UV light. I stuck it outside for a couple of hours and let that natural sunlight hit that UV resin and fully cure it. I have a 3D printer type UV light. You can find it in my Amazon storefront. It is pretty powerful. Usually I will hit it for 2 rounds of 60 seconds, but this time I decided to stick it outside because it was a nice, hot, sunny day. Look at this bitch. I just love this tumbler. Now that the UV resin has cured, it's time to seal this baby. And I am going in with Adhesive Apothecary Celestial Luster in the color Iris. I am shaking this up because it has been sitting for a while, and you need to shake it to get the shimmer all mixed in with that sealer. Elle, what's Celestial Lusters? It's the binding potion with an added shimmer. That's all it is. This eliminates having to add any epoxy alternatives to your epoxy coat. You can seal and add the shimmer all in one step. Iris looks beautiful over any types of darker bases like black, purple. Just watch. I'm going to show a look at that. Just look at that. That speaks for itself. I am going to put a pretty thick coat. I'm going to make sure all of my elements are covered. I just brush it on the whole tumbler. Once I get the Celestial Luster all over the tumbler, I will let it dry for 2 to 4 hours, and then I will go into final coats. I am doing the final coats on this today, so I do not have a finished product, but I'm here to tell you, if I didn't want to add epoxy, I don't have to. I wouldn't even have to seal this. It's done before the sealing process. But like I said before, it's my preference to seal and then add 2 final coats. I'm going to speed this process up. Have I said just how much I love it? Okay, yeah. right, bitches, and here it is. It is not complete. Like I said, I am doing epoxy today. I will do 2 coats of epoxy to finish this baby up. I just love how it came out, and I cannot wait for my customer to get this baby. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. Man, I just love it. And thanks for all the likes, subscribes, and shares. Y'all know the deal. It's only up. Let's get it.